On September 15, 1940, the skies over London erupt in chaos as RAF Spitfires and Hurricanes clash fiercely with hundreds of Luftwaffe bombers and fighters, marking a turning point in the battle. Britain's chain-home radar stations detect incoming German aircraft early, allowing RAF commanders to scramble pilots swiftly and turn the tide against overwhelming odds in this desperate defense. The Battle of Britain began in the summer of 1940, following Germany's swift conquest of France and the Low Countries in May and June. With Europe under Nazi control, Adolf Hitler turned his attention to invading Britain, codenamed Operation Sea Lion, requiring air superiority over the English Channel. The Luftwaffe, commanded by Hermann Göring, boasted around 2,500 aircraft, including Messerschmitt Bf 109 fighters and Heinkel He 111 bombers. In contrast, the Royal Air Force, led by Air Chief Marshal Hugh Dowding, had about 700 operational fighters, primarily Spitfires and Hurricanes. Britain's defense relied on innovative technology, including the chain-home radar network and an integrated command system known as the Dowding system. This system allowed for rapid detection, tracking, and interception of enemy raids, giving the RAF a crucial edge despite being outnumbered. The battle officially started on July 10, 1940, with the Kanalkampf phase, where Luftwaffe targeted British shipping convoys in the English Channel. German Stuka dive bombers and escort fighters launched attacks on British ports and shipping convoys to disrupt vital supplies and probe RAF coastal defenses. RAF pilots scrambled from bases like Biggin Hill to engage the intruders, resulting in the first significant aerial clashes of the campaign. During this phase, both sides suffered losses, but the RAF's radar allowed them to conserve pilots and aircraft by avoiding unnecessary patrols. Foreign pilots, including Poles, Czechs, and Canadians, joined the RAF, bringing valuable experience and bolstering the outnumbered British forces. By early August, the Luftwaffe intensified operations, preparing for the main assault to destroy the RAF on the ground and in the air. On August 13, 1940, Adlerangriff began, with massive raids targeting RAF airfields, radar stations, and aircraft factories across southern England. German bombers, heavily escorted by Messerschmitt Bf 109 fighters, sought to cripple RAF airfields and infrastructure, forcing decisive aerial confrontations. RAF ground controllers relied on radar data to direct fighter squadrons precisely, allowing effective interceptions of incoming German raids before targets were hit. August 18th, known as the hardest day, saw intense fighting with over 100 German aircraft shot down, but at a cost to the RAF. Legendary pilots such as Douglas Bader, who flew despite losing both legs, symbolize the unyielding spirit of RAFs, the few, in grueling combat. The Luftwaffe mistakenly believed they were close to victory, underestimating the RAF's ability to repair airfields and replace losses quickly. By late August, RAF pilots endured immense strain, flying several sorties each day amid exhaustion and mounting casualties from relentless engagements. On September 7, 1940, the Luftwaffe altered tactics, launching massive daylight bombing raids on London to shatter British civilian morale and resolve. This phase, part of the Blitz, saw waves of bombers dropping tons of explosives on the capital, causing widespread destruction and fires. London civilians rushed to underground shelters as anti-aircraft batteries and searchlights illuminated the skies, countering the nightly German onslaughts. The switch to city bombing relieved pressure on RAF airfields, allowing time for repairs and pilot rest. A critical strategic error by Göring. September 15th, Battle of Britain Day, featured two major raids repelled by the RAF, with 56 German planes downed in fierce dogfights. Early radar detections allowed RAF squadrons to concentrate forces ambushing Luftwaffe formations and causing devastating losses in the ensuing battles. The decisive defeat on September 15th persuaded Hitler that gaining air superiority was impossible, prompting the indefinite postponement of invasion plans. Starting in late September, Luftwaffe operations shifted predominantly to night bombings, minimizing daylight clashes while prolonging the Blitz campaign. Other cities such as Coventry and Manchester endured severe bombings. Yet Britain's industrial output and public morale remained resilient amid the onslaught. By October 31, 1940, the battle concluded, with the RAF maintaining control of British skies and thwarting German invasion ambitions. The Luftwaffe sustained around 1,900 aircraft losses compared to the RAF's 2,500, though Britain replaced theirs more efficiently through home production. More than 500 RAF pilots perished, many from Allied countries, their heroic sacrifices proving essential in safeguarding Britain and Allied freedoms. Winston Churchill praised them, saying, "Never in the field of human conflict was so much owed by so many to so few." The chain-home radar system, with towers along the coast, provided early warnings up to 100 miles away, revolutionizing air defense. Dedicated operators in underground bunkers tracked enemy positions on large maps, swiftly relaying data to sector commands for precise fighter guidance. This sophisticated integrated network reduced unnecessary patrols and optimized interceptions, becoming a cornerstone of the RAF's victorious defense strategy. The iconic Supermarine Spitfire, featuring elliptical wings and powerful Rolls-Royce Merlin engines, provided unmatched speed and agility in dogfights. Hurricanes, though slower, were rugged and effective against bombers, accounting for many Luftwaffe losses during the battle. German Bf-109s had limited range over Britain, forcing pilots to operate with fuel constraints and reduced loiter time. Heinkel He-111 and Dornier. Do-17 bombers with inadequate defensive guns proved highly vulnerable to focused assaults from RAF fighter squadrons. The secret ultra-intelligence from Bletchley Park's codebreakers delivered critical information on Luftwaffe intentions, bolstering RAF defensive preparations effectively. Members of the Royal Observer Corps, as civilian volunteers, visually tracked low-altitude enemy aircraft, supplementing radar during adverse weather. Led by Minister Lord Beaverbrook, UK factories ran 24/7, producing new aircraft, maintaining RAF's fighting capability despite heavy combat losses. Women played vital roles in the Women's Auxiliary Air Force and on production lines, assembling aircraft essential for the ongoing battle. The Battle of Britain's successful defense signified the initial major defeat for Nazi forces, inspiring allies and halting immediate German advances across Europe. It demonstrated the importance of air power in modern warfare, influencing strategies in subsequent campaigns like the Eastern Front. The failure to subdue Britain allowed the island nation to become a base for future operations, including D-Day in 1944. Memorials today honor the few, with sites like the Battle of Britain Memorial at Capelle-le-Ferne commemorating their bravery. Every year on September 15th, ceremonies commemorate Battle of Britain Day, honoring how RAF pilots decisively repelled the German aerial assault. The battle underscored advancements in technology, including radar systems and aircraft designs, which profoundly influenced future aviation and defense strategies. It also showed the resilience of democratic societies under siege, with civilians enduring hardships to support the war effort. British propaganda via newsreels and posters depicted RAF pilots as valiant defenders, strengthening national resolve during the intense aerial bombardment. The battle fostered international sympathy, particularly from America, resulting in Lend-Lease programs that provided essential aid to Britain's war effort. Following the failed British campaign, Hitler shifted resources to the east, initiating the massive invasion of the Soviet Union in 1941. Today, the Battle of Britain stands as an enduring symbol of resistance, offering profound lessons in military strategy, innovation, and human perseverance. Expanding on the intro, let's revisit the chaos of September 15th, where over 1,000 German aircraft faced determined RAF opposition. Eyewitness accounts described skies filled with condensation trails as RAF and Luftwaffe planes engaged in high-altitude chases and lethal turns. In one instance, a German bomber crew parachuted into London, only to be captured amidst the debris of their thwarted bombing run. Famous RAF fighter Ace Johnny Johnson downed multiple enemy planes that day, highlighting the extraordinary courage and expertise of British pilots. Scottish physicist Robert Watson-Watt's radar invention served as Britain's vigilant eyes, enabling timely warnings against approaching Luftwaffe fleets. Massive radar towers, reaching 350 feet high, swept the skies, identifying enemy aircraft formations long before they became visible to the naked eye. In filter rooms, operators analyzed incoming data using early identification friend or foe systems to separate Allied from enemy aircraft signals. Such precise coordination preserved numerous pilots and planes, transforming what could have been overwhelming defeats into strategic triumphs for the RAF. During July's Channel battles, the RAF lost 86 fighters, while downing 180 German aircraft, establishing an intense rhythm for the conflict ahead. Vital convoys such as CW-9 suffered heavy losses from Luftwaffe dives, with vessels sunk and survivors pulled from waters amid ongoing aerial assaults. The infamous Stuka dive bombers' sirens created psychological terror, yet their predictable trajectories made them vulnerable to RAF Hurricane intercepts. On Eagle Day, August 13, the Luftwaffe flew 1,285 sorties in massive raids, though poor weather conditions limited their overall impact on targets. The bombing of Ventnor radar station created a temporary gap in coverage, but redundant systems and quick repairs restored full operational awareness. On the hardest day, August 18th, intense assaults damaged airfields such as Manston. Yet, RAF bases remained functional, despite severe bombardments. Hermann Göring convened with Luftwaffe leaders, voicing anger over inaccurate reports that severely underestimated the RAF's enduring strength and resources. As September dawned, severe pilot shortages afflicted the Luftwaffe, with irreplaceable experienced crews falling victim to ongoing attritional combat. The prolonged Blitz bombings claimed over 40,000 civilian lives by May 1941, yet ultimately failed to erode Britain's collective determination. Brave firefighters and air raid precautions wardens battled blazes from incendiary bombs, rescuing injured civilians from the wreckage of bombed buildings. King George VI and Queen Elizabeth toured devastated areas, uplifting spirits by demonstrating solidarity with Londoners enduring the relentless attacks. Faced with persistent RAF resistance, Hitler, on September 17th, deferred Operation Sea Lion indefinitely, admitting defeat in gaining aerial control. Emerging night fighters such as the Bristol Beaufighter, fitted with airborne radar, started challenging the Luftwaffe's increasing nocturnal bombing missions. By late October, large-scale daylight raids halted entirely, signifying the end of the Battle of Britain and a crucial triumph for the United Kingdom. The battle's toll encompassed 23,042 British civilians killed or wounded from Luftwaffe bombings throughout the intense summer and autumn campaign. Downed Luftwaffe pilots captured on British soil were held in internment camps, though a few managed escapes to rejoin combat elsewhere. Securing this victory enabled Britain to reconstitute its forces, gearing up for future offensives in theaters like North Africa and Europe. The outcome demonstrated that Nazi blitzkrieg tactics were not invincible. galvanizing resistance groups throughout German-occupied European territories. Reflecting back, success stemmed from strong leadership, including Dowding's strategic vision and the unparalleled bravery of frontline pilots. Britain's island geography provided natural protection against ground assaults, allowing full focus on repelling the aerial invasion during the battle. Today, the Battle of Britain is examined in military academies around the world for its exemplary use of integrated air defense strategies and systems. Cinematic portrayals, such as the 1969 film Battle of Britain, vividly recreate the events, informing younger audiences of the pilot's extraordinary heroism. Institutions like the RAF Museum in London safeguard historical artifacts, including salvaged Spitfire parts and original chain-home radar equipment. Surviving veterans through associations continue to recount tales of brotherhood, hardship, and sacrifice experienced during the pivotal 1940 summer. The Battle of Britain's experiences directly influenced advancements in jet propulsion and air strategies during the Cold War era and subsequent conflicts. The campaign highlighted the importance of international alliances, with exiled pilots from occupied nations joining British forces in unified defense. Battling over Britain depleted Luftwaffe assets, redirecting vital resources away from preparations for other theaters and undermining Nazi war efforts. Socially, the battle forged national unity among Britons, cultivating a resilient, defiant spirit that sustained them through subsequent wartime challenges. Artistic expressions, including poems and paintings titled The Few, have immortalized the valor and legacy of RAF pilots from that time. The battle spurred rapid advancements in radar technology, resulting in compact airborne versions deployed in Allied aircraft for offensive operations. Prime Minister Winston Churchill's stirring orations mobilized the populace, portraying the conflict as an existential battle for global civilization. This hard-won victory granted precious time for the United States to join the Allies, ultimately tipping the scales against Axis dominance. In essence, the Battle of Britain emerged as a crucial turning point, averting occupation and sustaining the flame of liberty in Europe. The battle's enduring legacy in historical records serves as a poignant reminder of liberty's price and the strength found in collective resolve. From the chalk cliffs of Dover to the bomb-scarred streets of London, ordinary Britons played integral roles in this remarkable defensive stand. The unparalleled heroism of the few guaranteed Britain's solitary yet steadfast resistance, laying groundwork for the eventual Allied triumph in Wabidiwant. The revolutionary chain-home radar system not only preserved Britain, but also laid the groundwork for global modern air traffic control technologies. Personal narratives from Polish 303 squadron pilots illustrate the vital international alliances that fortified the RAF during the battle's height. Following October's resolution, the strengthened RAF pivoted to offensive roles, launching bombing missions against German positions in Europe. In the end, the Battle of Britain demonstrated how innovative technology, paired with indomitable human spirit, can surmount overwhelming adversities. The Battle of Britain's story endures as an inspiration, underscoring the ongoing imperative to protect democratic freedoms from tyrannical threats.